rerun the script. We get our OK that's right here now. Hi folks, Professor Omachi here, and today we are going to look at why NetConf scripts are breaking in iOS XE version 17 when they used to work in version 16. Now this was a little frustrating for me because we're working with NetConf in Cisco DevNet and the same thing was happening to me. So I want to show you how to fix it, and I'll give you the spoiler now, and that's to specify the base namespace first. And you can get the base namespace by looking at the first hello in the NetConf server when capabilities are returned. Now, I didn't find this out alone. The question was asked and answered in the Cisco community. Here it is, netconf error in iOS XE 17, but works fine on iOS XE 16. You get the bad element in the config here. So it looks like there were a few people who also experienced this error here. So if we scroll down a little bit, looks like we got our answer here from a very friendly Cisco employee, and it looks like this. So in our config, we're specifying the base namespace here. So if you're ready, let's get started. Okay, so here we are under the code directory, and then we also did the get clone to grab the DNA code directory, and this is going to contain all of this, and there is one change that we are going to have to do for the env lab. Here's the file that's down here. This iOS XE number 1 here, this changed from the time that this whole lab out here was written. So if we come out to here, and if we look for iOS XE, there's something called the latest code always on. So this particular lab right here, it's going to have this URL. So why don't we grab this? And let's replace this right out here. Okay, so that's the latest one right here. These are also going to change right here too. So this default netconf port is going to be 830. The restconf port is going to be 443, and the SSH port here is going to be 22. So if we come out here and then we go ahead and save that. So this always on code, it should be running on 17, version 17 here. What I already did as well is I started up the reservable 1693 CSR. So this is under iOS XE 2. So this one here, this block here will be version 16. This block right here will be version 17. Okay, so let's step through our lab here for the particular script here under netconf. It's the getinterfacelist.py. Okay, so as you can see here, it's doing a netconf connection to iOS XE1, and it's just going to be referencing the variables out here in envlab.py. So if we're to come out here to the intro MDP and under the netconf here. Okay, so let's run this. Get interface list. And this is what we're going to get. We're going to get a whole bunch of errors right here. And it's like, ah. So in our case here, under the original env, see, notice here that we also have iOS XE2, and this is running up on a reservable sandbox. Just to kind of prove a point that the script seems to work okay on version 16.9.3 and not version 17 like what we're on right now. iOS XE2. Why don't we just prove our point right here? iOS XE1. How about we look for all instances of those, and we are going to replace this with 2. iOS XE2. So let's go ahead and do all these. Go ahead and save that really quick. Let's do clear. Okay, and as we can see here, the script worked. So this is version 16 right here. See, we have all of our XML that has been returned right here, and we're using the filter right here. So the filter, we started directly from the IETF interfaces, right from Yang interfaces. So this is what we got underneath the interfaces right here. This is where it started. And we got all of the interfaces right here. So what's happening here is that we need a starting point for version 17. Version 17 on, we actually have to modify this filter right here. So under this filter, we have to start it directly from a specific namespace here. So let's go ahead and fix the script. Okay, set this back to the iOS XE1. Okay, and let's try this. So here is the namespace right here. So how about we just start it off at the base right there. Okay, so we'll copy that out. And then under the filter here. Okay, before we do that, let's just make sure that we're saved here. Okay, save. And then we're with the iOS XE1. Yep, and definitely getting those errors again. So underneath that filter there, why don't we start it from that namespace right there? Okay, and rerun the script here. And that fixes it. So the this is it right here. Start at this namespace for your filter. Then your script will be able to iterate and parse down from there. Okay, let's back up a couple of steps here. Why don't we try the add something to the configuration? That's the add loopback.py. Okay, so the add loopback.py script is out over here. Okay, and as you can see here, we're looking for input here. So let's give it a shot. Okay, so this is Python 3. This will be the add loopback. Loopback to add. Yeah, let's try 999. Let's see if that'll do it. Added by Prof Hamachi. Okay to delete. IP address. Quad 9 should be okay. All right, and so we get an error right here. Okay, so let's scroll back up here. And when we first make our connection, this RPC reply here is saying we start from this particular namespace. So why don't we try the same thing? So we'll just grab this right here and we'll start it config right up at that namespace that's right up front here. So let's save. Okay, and rerun here, add loopback. Loopback number to add. How about we go quad 8 this time? And description to use, added by Prof. Hamachi. Okay to delete. Okay, IP address, quad 8. Netmask, 32-bit. Okay, and it looks like that was it there. So the interface was added. We just had to specify the top level of this namespace right here. And you can find that at the very top when you initiate a connection here. All right, so let's try the get interfaces. Let's see if quad 8's there. Yes, and we see quad 8 is now in our list. So good. You can guess what we're going to need next. And what we're going to need next is this delete loopback. And I have a sneaking suspicion that since we don't have the namespace defined right here, we're probably going to get an error. So let's try it. Now that we know how to fix this, okay, delete loopback, and then we're going to delete quad 8 there. And of course we get our errors right here, so let's add that namespace. So that namespace was down here. That was our starting there. And paste that in. So go ahead and save it. Let's rerun the script here. How about we clear this first? Rerun the script. We get our OK that's right here now. We deleted the interface successfully. So good. Now we just have to save the config. Okay, and I think the save config pi, I think this one should be okay. All right, so there it is. Running config successfully saved. Okay, very cool. It looks like everything was fixed by specifying that base namespace in the start of our request. If you like content like this, go ahead and
smash that like button.
And also let me know down in the comments too if you want to see more content like this. Or if you have other questions, and maybe we can help find out the answer together. Okay, that's going to do it for us, and we'll see you on the next.